time away on international duty to test yourself against your counterparts from Germany. What was that like as a challenge?
Yeah, it was good. I was just speaking to a couple of lads about it. It was the Germany game was tough. First game we beat Malta 2-0. It was more comfortable, and the second game was definitely a lot harder. But it's good playing against the bigger nations. We had it last campaign we played against England. They were in our group, and their 21s team that night was really good. Like Elliot Anderson and stuff was playing, Morgan Rogers. So the Germany game was tough, but we were 1-0 up for like 79 minutes, so we done well. Like we always seem to rise to it as whenever we play the bigger teams, and we maybe just ran out a bit of steam the second half, but you need a bit of luck as well in them games, and I think that we had it for like 80 minutes, and then it just kind of went the other way.
When you're going up against, look, I dare say within their squad, they've got a load of players that are either on the fringes or very much ensconced in Bundesliga sides.
Yeah.
About the types of, standards, as it were, that they bring.
Yeah, you noticed it straight away playing against them that obviously we'd been told like he was playing stuff like when we were doing our analysis on them during the week, so we knew a couple of them playing the Bundesliga and stuff, so we knew it was going to be a tough game. But as I said, I thought we'd done all right. Like on the pitch, I felt like we could tell we were playing against players that were playing at a really high level, like the way they were moving the ball and stuff. But like they didn't really hurt us at all for like 75 minutes, and then kind of one lapse concentration, and we concede. But that's the level you're playing against, so it's a good experience. So.
But equally, I suppose it's only 5 minutes ago. Clearly, you were at West Ham, but you've had a lot of senior experience
Yeah.
that I dare say quite a lot of those players haven't had, and that in itself is a big step up.
Yeah, I think that helps. Obviously, I played senior football from when I was really young in Northern Ireland with Korean. So, then obviously my loan last year. So I think it helps because a couple of them lads we played against were, you could tell like they hadn't really played senior football. Especially in the first game, a couple of international games, you can notice the guys who really aren't playing against men, the guys who are still playing academy football. So, no, it definitely helps.
Do you feel as though the more senior football you now start to play or continue to play, you've got a greater chance of moving from the under 21s and into the senior squad?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's the aim, and that's the only way to do it. Is probably by playing consistently here at Barnsley, which is what I need to start doing. Obviously, I had a bit of a tough start with my injury there for the last couple of weeks, but I've spoke to Michael O'Neill, the manager and stuff, so just need to get playing consistently here, and hope that that'll be the next step, because obviously there is a pathway to the first team, because we've got quite a lot of young players in the first team squad at the minute, and I know most of them I've either played with or trained with and stuff, so I know I'm definitely good enough, so it's just about the timing, and hopefully that chance comes sooner rather than later.
Yeah, that must be encouraging when the manager sort of pulls you to one side for a chat, knowing full well that the kind of the way it's going and the way he wants to sort of build the team is with younger players.
Yeah, it is, yeah, and the first team manager was at our game the other night and stuff. So we know he's like interested in watching us, and the 21's manager is always telling us that he's asking them who's doing well and stuff, so we know he's keeping an eye.
Yes, as you mentioned, kind of injured between international breaks, but for a bit of a spell at Wickham just prior. How frustrating is that then when you're just trying to get your feet under the table, you're racking up the minutes, and then it stops?
Yeah, it was really frustrating. I thought I had a pretty decent start in August when I first moved up here and started September, and then got that injury literally the very end of my game with Northern Ireland last month, and it was just annoying. There's nothing I could have really done about it, just a rolled ankle, and put me out for a couple of weeks, and it was sore to be fair, but just happened at a bit of a bad time for myself, and then the team went in a bit of a we had a good start to the season, then we went through a bit of a rough patch there, but I think this international break came at a good time for us, so I think we're ready now to reset and hopefully start with a big result on Saturday.
Yeah, what's been the kind of chatter in the dressing room then about that? Because as you say, the points tally still looks healthy. You've got games in hand. You're slightly off the playoff picture, but for all that matters in October. But equally, I dare say there's probably a need to get back on the wagon sharpish.
Yeah, there is. Obviously, there's still a long way to go. It's only October, as you say, but I think the talking to the change room just to stay positive, because obviously we know we're a good team, we've got good players. We showed that at the start of the season with our start. So it's just about getting back on that run of trying to win games and be positive, win games of football. I think when you're going through patches we went through there where we weren't winning, it's probably the hardest part of football, but it's just about coming through the other side of it and Connor's been good at just trying to keep us positive and keep looking forward.
It must be tremendously exciting that, in a kind of sweeping statement sort of way, that with club and country, there's a lot of young players going on a bit of a journey to see how they get on and make careers for themselves right now. Because Barnsley's youth policy is sort of several years old. There's a load of you there, and as you mentioned, with the national team as well.
Yeah, no, it's good to see managers trusting younger players as well, because obviously it is hard trying to break through when you're younger, and there's maybe players with more experience in your position that you're competing with. It sometimes might be easier to pick them, but you just have to earn the manager's trust and show them that you're ready, and because if you're good enough, they'll play you.
And with regard to tapering off, I suppose some of those experiences can be looked at on the training ground, etc. But until players have had the dip, you just kind of have to get on with it, don't you? And that's the experience. You bank it, and then it doesn't happen so much again.
Yeah, definitely, and I learned that on my own last year. Like, you have to deal with being left out and not playing for a while, and it's going to happen. Like, it's going to happen to most players. Like, there's barely any players who'll play every game, every season. I think at some stage you're always going to be left out of a team or left out of a squad, so it's just about how you deal with it. You just kind of need to not take it in a bad way and just work hard and keep logging away and training and stuff to try to get yourself back in the team.
Just finally then, Bradford, on the horizon, a local rivalry, a Yorkshire derby, they're second. It's got, quite a few positive hallmarks there, hasn't it, before taking them on?
Yeah, obviously it's a big game for us. You said Bradford about a decent start. But we'll be going there full confidence. Hopefully we can get 3 points, and it should be a good game.
Many moons ago, Arsene Wenger, the then Arsenal manager, used to talk about the difficulty of trying to win the league when you've got a load of London derbies.
Yeah.
Well, Barnsley have got a load of Yorkshire derbies this season. And I wonder how much of a picture that, or a slant that puts on this season, not just for obviously Barnsley, I dare say Doncaster Rovers, Rotherham United, Bradford, Huddersfield, and so on.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing though. I think you've seen when we played Huddersfield, the atmosphere is definitely up a notch whenever it's one of the derbies, and I think there's always a big away crowd and maybe a bigger home crowd, so it's better again to play in for the players. There's a bit more atmosphere there, so I think Saturday will be the same, so hopefully we can turn up for fans.
Brilliant. Best of luck. Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Hi, Patrick. Hi, mate. Obviously, you signed here as a sort of long-term project on a long contract. So that, I guess, like you said, there were going to be sort of periods when you were in and out, but day to day, obviously, you want to play. How difficult is sort of to balance sort of the long-term development with, I just want to play every Saturday kind of thing?
Yeah, it's a little bit difficult, but as I was saying, I just have to deal with it. It's part of football. So obviously my injury kind of set me back a couple of weeks there. Could have got a decent start up until that. So just looking to stay fit now and just train every day, try to get myself in the team and hopefully stay in the team.
Obviously, Luke O'Connell and another youngster, Jonathan Bland, have been playing in their sort of midfield too, and then a few more attacking midfielders in front of it. Where do you see yourself sort of fitting into that? And has the manager sort of said anything that he wants you to particularly work on to sort of break into that?
Yeah, I had a few chats with the manager, to be fair, just about like he can see me playing both positions probably. I think I can play both, but ideally probably I'd rather play maybe as a holding midfielder, but just as long as I'm on the pitch, to be honest, I don't really mind where I play. I played like more attacking for Northern Ireland overnight, so I know I can do that as well, which is good to have both. But yeah, it's just about staying patient and hopefully when my chance comes, just taking it.
I'm guessing you pretty much left Barnsley after the Wickham game, which was, I imagine, quite a flat and frustrated, disappointed dressing room for obvious reasons. Did you know what was that like? And then to come back, a few days ago, did you notice a bit of a change that the mood had sort of like picked up a bit in the break while you'd been away?
Yeah, it was definitely picked up. Today was my first day back in from the camp, and I definitely noticed a bit of everyone's got that spring in their step going into Saturday, which is good to see because that Wickham game was a bit sickening the way we conceded 2 late on. So don't think anyone was really too happy in the change room after the game, and emotions were a bit high, but it's just about leaving that and just looking forward because it's done now, so there's no point dwelling on it.
Do you think it could also be a bit of a sort of wake-up call or turning point? Even you look back and that think, yeah, that one hurt, and it's where we kicked on from.
Yeah, hopefully that's what we can look at it as. Obviously, Saturday's our first chance we've had to bounce back. Obviously, the lads have had to wait a bit because of the international break, which is probably came at a good time for us, but then maybe a bit frustrating that we had to wait so long to play again after like the end of that game, which was so disappointing. But it's just about trying to win now Saturday.
Just going back to what you said when you broke into the team in Northern Ireland, I think, how old were you, 16, 17? You played pretty much a full season there. I mean, what was that like? Were you just coming straight out of school, or?
I was still in school.
Right.
I was doing my A-levels. It was my first year A-levels. And they were only part-time, so it was just like training in the evenings and stuff. Then playing on Saturdays. But now it was really good. Loved it. Good experience. Played like 30, 40 games and got the Irish Cup final and stuff. So yeah, no, it was really good.
So obviously, then when you went to West Ham or even here, most players would just come through academies and very different experience. Do you feel like it gives you something extra and something that you've got that experience, something better?
Yeah, definitely. That helped me grow up really quickly, I think, quicker than others, which helped me my development because you went from playing like academy games that no one's really out to play in big games with crowds at it and stuff, and it definitely helps you mature and play under pressure and deal with fans and stuff like that.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Patrick, I've just got a few. I was thinking, one of the few players in the Barnsley squad you got, winning at Bradford, Bradford's home record has been incredible over the last year. And weren't you part of Doncaster won about this time last year, didn't they?
Yeah, I came on that day. We beat them 3-2, I think it was, if I'm right, or maybe 3-1, I can't remember. But yeah, no, it's obviously going to be a tough place to go. They've had a really good start to the season, but I think we've got more than enough to go there and get a good result.
Yeah, with Northern Ireland, I know you've sort of trained with the first team squad before, haven't you? And that's given you a little taste of it, hasn't it?
Yeah. I went away on training camp with them last year, probably the year before. That was good. It's like 10-day training camp. With all the first team staff and players and stuff, so that was good. So I think just the next step for me now is trying to get into their squad. I've been on standby for the last couple. So it's just about performing at my club every week, and then hopefully that'll look after itself.
It must give you a bit of inspiration. I know a good friend of yours who was at Huddersfield last year, Callum Marshall, and obviously you've been together at West Ham, and he sort of dipped his toes into the first team. That must give you, a bit of extra sort of motivation, I suppose. I know he's one of your big mates, isn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, no, it's good to see him doing so well. He made his Premier League debut last week as well, so he's doing well at the minute. So yeah, no, just seeing stuff like that, and not just Callum, to be fair, other ones I played with growing up are like my age group are now starting to kind of integrate with the first team, couple of lads. So I'm definitely looking at it like knowing that I want to be with them as well. So that's definitely the next step.
You all keep in touch. I mean, you're probably at various clubs, but you'll sort of keep in touch.
Yeah, all the time. We're texting most days.
Yeah, I mean, looking at yourself as well. A few weeks time going back to Doncaster, so that'll be a big thing for you. We'd be keen to sort of get back in the team, hopefully, in time for that. Cause that's a big game for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it'll be strange going back there playing for the other team, but yeah, now looking forward to it. Just treat it as another game, but also we've got 2 big games before that as well. I think we've got Bradford on Saturday and Rotherham next week, so won't really think about the Doncaster game until that week.
How have you found Connor and Grant? Are they sort of similar? Obviously, they played in similar positions. Are they similar as coaches and individuals, or are they different? What's your sort of experience?
I think they are pretty similar in the way they coach. I'd say the differences are just maybe the systems that both play would be the main difference. Just the way they set up their teams is a little bit different, but I think they kind of implement the same stuff on the pitch. They're both very they take the sessions and they kind of want to coach themselves, which is good from like a manager's point of view. So I think they're similar in that way, and they're both easy to speak to, so which is always good. And then the main difference would just be probably the systems both of them try to play.
Yeah, they probably seem to be the sort that they're good to work with, but if they need to give you a telling off the will, that sort of thing.
Yeah, which is what you need. I think from a manager, probably it's good to have that. Obviously, like be nice to the players and stuff. Obviously, whenever someone needs to be told something, you tell them it.